All right, so let's take a look at the market. So I got our key targets for today. Let me skinny the chart down. These are key levels for the entire session. I put them up for you. These are derived from key support and resistance levels. What they like to do is they like to try to find the next fair value levels. So these are the fair value levels. I'm just going to put them right over top our algorithm so you can see where our targets are for the day. So we get a target of, this is 12/17/2025, target of 69.05, 69.60, and on the downside, 67.55.5, and then 67.05 3/4. I'll put them over the charts on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays, so you can see the targets when we break outside of the opening range and we get some pressure to the downside or upside. You have your targets where the market should gravitate towards. These are magnets in the market. They're previous value levels. I like to look at previous value levels to find out where my targets are. Let's get into the market real quick. I want to go over, I've been sending charts out about how we can use the algorithm with the key opening range. Let's look at yesterday. I'm going to show you how you can stick to your bias on one side. So at 9:30, we established a high and low 5-minute opening range to find energy in the market. Typically, a lot of traders use the 15-minute opening range or the half hour or hour opening range to find the energy in the market. The 5 minutes suffice with our system because we get a lot of pressure in the market in that 5-minute opening range. So here's the whole session of the 5-minute opening range from the S&P. Just take the 5-minute high, 5-minute low. Once you get below the range, that's pressure in the market. And then what you do is simply look for 2 setups. Look for liquidity grab sells with our yellow triggers, and then look for liquidity grab sells in our 25 sell zones. And so what you're doing is once you get below this zone, you're looking for pressure in the market. And we had pressure all day yesterday. It did not break the 5-minute opening range one time. It's a very easy way to gauge your sentiment in the market for the entire trading session. You can see it try to come up to the 5-minute opening range later in the session at 5 or 350. Could not break, rolled right back down inside of it. So at 9:30, from 9:30 to 9:35, mark up your 5-minute low, 5-minute high, and then take the trades in direction of your 5-minute push, because that way, if it's down, if your trend filter is our 30-year back tested trend filter is red, then it's very simple. You want to look for 25 sell zones or yellow trigger entries, and we had a lot of them yesterday. These are nice pushes. This actually stopped at the opening range pretty much to the tick, and we had a beautiful sell signal on our system right here that gave us a yellow trigger entry, and it just was a nice sell setup from 47 all the way down to 17. So a nice 30-point hit. That was, 17 to, where was it? Yeah, 47. So a nice 20-point hit in the S&P as far as that goes. So then it came back up. We had another sell signal here below the opening range, another beautiful sell signal, and we had some additional sell signals in the afternoon. But it just shows you can skinny the market down and you can get a nice directional push. So I marked it up. It looks like basically this. Let me blow this up real quick. So here you can see we got back inside of yesterday's opening range. So if you, let's say, the easy way to do this is for these yellow trigger entries is that you want to see where you're getting these yellow triggers at. This yellow trigger came inside of our trend filter. This one came inside of our trend filter also. But look where this one fired it for you European traders after the London Open. Beautiful buy setup right here at the breaking back inside and retesting yesterday's opening range. You want to leave you at that 5-minute opening range all day for the entire session. And then at 9:30, 9:35, you want to switch it back over to the current 5-minute opening range to see where these yellow triggers are going to fire. So you can see that today we had a nice 67 potential all the way up to 82. So another 14, almost 15-point S&P potential run for you London traders this morning. Now we're back inside of yesterday's opening range. So it's trying to find its direction. So if you want to get to this target up here of my target of 69.05, or if you want to get to my target after it breaks 69.05, I got lots of room, nothing above me until 69.60. Then what we want to do is we want to get outside this opening range, yesterday's opening range, or today's 930 to 935 range, retest it, and our target's going to be up here at 05 and then 60. Vice versa, let's say we break down the opening range when we get the new one today, or if we get breakdown before 930. If we break 57 3/4, I'm looking for the market to slide all the way down to 56 in today's session. So you can use the opening range for these yellow trigger entries and these liquidity grab zones, because that's what the market's always trying to find. It's always trying to find liquidity. It's trying to buy pullbacks. If you notice this buy signal right here at this low this morning for you early morning traders, right after the market opened up. Wait, let me get that off there. It went right into these zones. So these zones love to reverse price. These are proprietary zones. They love to reverse price. So if you get a trigger inside of these zones, these red and green zones, you're looking for a reversal in price. Okay, so especially if you get a yellow trigger entry, you're looking for that to continue in that direction. So when you break, the idea then would be to, if I'm below the opening range, this is yesterday's opening range, there's your low, there's your high. So this is the 5-minute opening range of the S&P yesterday. The blue line is just a 50-day on the 50-day moving average on the 2-hour chart. I like to monitor. You get a lot of trades off that. But you can see that below the 5-minute opening range is very simple. I'm trying to keep this simple for everybody. You're looking for a yellow trigger sell, and they're both inside of our liquidity grab zones. There's a zone sell. Right up inside of it, got a yellow trigger. This is confluence. There's a yellow sell. There's your confluence again. So you can see, what does the market like do? It likes to pull it up, grab liquidity, catch the rolling position traders, bring it back down. Pull it up, grab liquidity, bring it right back down. So you want to stick on the side of the push of the opening range. So if your opening range is, if you're below it, you want to look for 25 liquidity grab sells. You're looking for yellow trigger sells. If you're above it, you're looking for buys. So you want to keep it that simple, and you don't want to make it any more difficult than that when you're doing these sells. Now, when you look at, you want to change this, like I said, after today's first 5-minute opening bell. You just want to move those to the high and low. What's my targets? My target's going to be the next value levels. Very simply, if I get outside opening range, I'm looking for a bullish buy up to this target. And if I get below, I have 2 targets for the day. My target's going to be 55.5, and my target's going to be 05.25. To the upside, it's going to be 04.75, 05, and then the next target's going to be up there at 60. So I have my targets for the day. I know what to look for. I know value. The market always tries to find value. All right. So it's going to try to buy the discount, and it's going to try to sell the premium. So they're not going to try to sell the premium until we get up to these levels, probably. If we break out an opening range, here's a premium, and then they won't try to buy the discount until we get down to these probably levels 56 and down to 05. So we'll watch that on the first 5-minute opening range. Now, you can play off of this 52-hour, 50-day moving average with yellow trigger entries also. I do like trading off that off the 2-hour chart. It's a neat way to get additional trades with the trend filter and our yellow trigger entries. But that's exactly what the market's trying to do, is trying to find liquidity, and we can use the 5-minute range to get a sort of bias and get the direction that we want to go.